Welcome to day 2 of our Authenticity Challenge. Hope everybody's excited, having a good day. Hope we're all on the Austin Men's Development Board, sharing our experiences, because that's really how, that's where the magic happens. Doing this work is great. Challenging yourself is great. But when we come together as a group, we really evolve in the best possible ways. And the benefit of that is super badass. Super badass. You want to find out what super badass is? You want to know what your life super badass is? Do the challenge on the board. All right, so guys, check this out. This is simple. Let's remember, it's simple, man, but it's difficult. 10 to 20 minutes a day, to watch the videos, do the exercises and all that sort of stuff, but it's difficult. So guess what? It's community first. Be a part of the community, as we said. If you are not posting on the boards, you're not doing this, okay? You're only doing half of it. You're doing an incomplete exercise. It's not being used as it's meant to be used. I've run online men's groups for 8 years. No. I'm sorry, 6 years. And it's awesome. It's how people grow on amazing levels. So do that. Look, this all follows the Born to Be philosophy. That's super important. Hopefully we're going to really understand what that means a little bit more as we go into it. But right now, just have the brief understanding that your life was born to function. Your life was born to be healthy. Your life was actually born to be happy. Your body evolved that way. And your social, your sexual, your physical expression was all meant to work well. It's just we have society and we have culture and all these different things pulling at us, and we're eating food out of plastic bags and using apps to socialize. Look, I do all of that. But we need to realize that our standard is to get back to, what we were really made to do. And that's everything that TSL does. So just remember that. The last thing here, second to last thing, is to ask questions and, post those on the board. There's no stupid questions. This is a hard journey. And, one thing that I've known is that when you're really challenging yourself, okay, you need fellowship, you need unity, you need community in order to make that, to really get the most out of it. And I talk about that a lot. That's because it's important. The last thing in this cult-like presentation that I have of these charts of things that I'm going through is that there is a sale going on. If you're a part of this group, up until the last day of this, you will have the opportunity to get our TSL Men's Development membership at $20 a month. It's pretty cool, or $200 for the year. Guys, really the main benefit of that is you get access to literally too much information, but we know it's too much information. So you also get access to direct coaching from myself and some of the alumni. It's really awesome. And we really go crazy on that. If you are a member and you know how awesome that is, share about it with the other guys on the Men's Development Board so that they can know that if that's something they want to do it. If that's not, man, please don't, because I do not want people on there who aren't active. That sucks. That's the worst way to run or have a business. As I'm pulling this up, let me pull up day 2. Woo! This one's intimidating. Bisexual, guys. Everybody is freaked out by the bisexual thing. And I think the reason why is because they think that means you got to go up and fuck somebody. It's not what we're talking about here, guys. Look, when we are talking about our sexual expression, it's really getting back into that born to be thing. There's our sex. That's being a man. That's my identity. I was born with a dick, balls. Of course, I could go transgender and get all that stuff removed. But for the most part, hey, that's how I was born. That's what my hormones were made to do. And that's part of my identity. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part is that there's then my sexual expression. So that could be my sexuality. Okay, what I like. That's not just that I like women or certain things that I'm into, but it's that how my sexual identity evolved, of who I am and what I express myself as, and why I like those things, and being comfortable with it. We feel so much shame about that. Like, why do I like tall girls or short girls or girls with darker features or blonde haired girls, or why do I like these weird types of sex or yada, yada, yada. We don't really get honest about that. And here we are. And then the third thing is the actual act of having sex, and we talk about this a lot, especially being a social dynamics and seduction company first, is that, and you can watch my many speeches on it, the 2011 21 convention speech, The Sexual Life might be a good one. That speech basically we talk about the different levels of sex and sexuality and those types of deals, but having sex doesn't necessarily mean you're being a sexual expression of yourself. I've had so much sex and still have sex these days where there's part of myself left out in it, and it's just a physical expression, but not a full emotional expression and so on. So we really want to look at this, okay? And so looking at this, we got to go through these questions. So we're going to write about these questions. We're going to talk about them. We're going to post videos about them. If you're uncomfortable with that, you're going to post a journal about them. If you're uncomfortable with that, well, some way you got to interact with the board or else you're not a part of this challenge. Okay, so let's get to these questions. When I am being sexual, am I being myself? All right, so these are the standard questions that we ask every day. When I'm being sexual, am I being myself? So as an expression of a man, when I'm having sex, whatever that might be. Sharing my intent. Those are like three big things. Like when I'm being a man, when I'm having sex, when I'm sharing my intent. Those are three ways to be sexual that you can always be sexual. Like, so if you're not actively having sex, how are you a man? If you're not actively having sex, how are you showing your intent? Look at those things. Are you being yourself? When I'm being sexual, did I compromise myself today? So when I was being a man, when I was asserting my sexual identity or my sexual expression, was I being myself today? All right, but let's get into a deeper look here and explore this more. Now, again, with these deeper look questions is we really should, if they're too deep, answer one or two of them and really dive deep on them and look at what some of the other people are asking because it can get somewhat intense. The more questions you ask doesn't mean the better you are. It's more that how do we look at one part of ourselves really intensely and then share it with the group and get feedback and all those sorts of things. That's where the good stuff is, all right? So what does it mean to be a man? Biologically, culturally, and personally, all right? Was I honest with what I felt sexually today? Possibly seeing an attractive woman and not being able to express my sexual urge or my thoughts? Was I able to be honest with myself about what I felt? Did I express them or did I try and repress them? So that could be many different things, but that happens to me multiple times throughout the day. It's like being honest sexually. It's like, how am I going to do that? How do I tell her that I like her tits without highly offending her? How can I show that in the right way? And that's really what we got to look at. And especially when I get into the social dynamics coaching, there's a lot of stuff that we can have to say about that. Was I able to express my sexual feelings and have someone feel them today? Okay, so I'm in a relationship. You might think that's easy, but that's not always easy. My real sexual feelings and express them to somebody and how I really felt. Okay, what about my sex, male, female identity? My sexuality, my expression of that sex, and my sexual actions, having sex or the things leading to sex, are truly me. What was not and why? And so again, look at those things. If we're having sex or not having sex, that changes that question a little bit, but then we can still answer like the sexual identity stuff. Go with it. Ask questions on the board if you're having trouble with any of these things. Okay, so am I making choices about my sexual expression or am I reacting to what I should be doing or supposed to be doing and so on? Man, that is really the question because, again, authenticity is one of these very impossible things to always do. But we don't want to react So it's like, oh my God, I got to lose weight. Oh my God, I got to be hot. Oh my God, da 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 da. We want to be able to make choices. Oh, well, I'm short and all these girls have written that they like tall girls. What choices can I make about that? And not just react and buy lifts and stuff like that. But we can make a choice to buy lifts, but just don't react to it. Don't be a slave to the wants and needs without really exploring the why behind it. In any case, keep going. All right. So what do I need to be to have a good sex life? Am I doing that? Is it me? It's going to be an important question that we come up with this. What about me right now makes me, have to change or not be myself? What about right now? What about this situation happening makes it impossible for me to be me? Is that a choice? Is it a reaction? All these different things. We want to look at those things. All right. Good stuff. Now, when we get into the expression of the day, This is going to be, this I know can be confusing for a lot of people, but once you do it, it will be super simple. You just need to express your true sexuality to somebody today, or your true sexual expression. So I'm going to make this real simple. You can read the stuff here, and it says like that could be your identity, that could be having sex, that could be your sexual expression, and so on. But you need to communicate it to somebody, and they need to be able to understand it. Okay. So you're not just saying, hey, you're hot, and leaving, but you need them to hear it. So this is just a compliment, or this could be a compliment. This is an example of it, or there could be a nonverbal expression of it. In the nonverbal expression, I put a link to an article, or you can go there at thesexuallife.com/126, where there's a whole lesson plan on that. But a compliment is very simple. You could just say, hey, those are great shoes, or hey, you look really beautiful, or hey, that is a nice smile. We're not doing a technique, people. We're not saying it just to say it. We're actually being or expressing what we think. If we see a girl and we're going, wow, man, that girl's beautiful, we're actually today going to take a chance and try and say that. Okay. And we're going to post about all the different fears, what went wrong or whatever. And who gives a fuck, man? Even if she like gives you a funny look and is like, why the fuck are you talking to me or whatever? You were honest, that's good. Okay. It's not good that she's, upset by it, but like, dude, that's great. You were able to express yourself. Follow that road more than anything else. And another piece of advice on giving compliments is learn to begin and end your conversations. So if ever I talk to somebody, my goal isn't to get a date or a number or anything like that. It's to have an enclosed and total social experience. So I say like, hey man, you look really attractive. I don't want to make you nervous. I just wanted to say that. Anyway, have a nice day. So I just say it, let her feel it, move along. Okay. You're going to get way more out of that than stacking your routines or whatever and yada, yada, yada. So just begin and end your different things. You can actually read about beginning and ending conversations at thesexuallife.com/126, or you can practice your nonverbals like standing closer and so on. In any case, expressing your sexuality is super easy. Express your sexuality to somebody today. You can do it with a very simple compliment. It doesn't need to be offensive. It doesn't need to be, a part of a game ideology. It's just expressing who or what you feel. Okay. If you're in a relationship and you express it to somebody outside of your relationship, that doesn't mean you're cheating. That means you're recognizing truth and beauty. And if that upsets your partner, then don't do it. Make the choice not to do it, but then express it to your partner. Okay. So expressing your sexuality is something that's very easy. I get a feeling we're going to be talking about this a lot on the board. So hopefully we can answer a lot of questions while doing that. Cool stuff. All right. That's day 2. Let's get to work, people.